2 weeks ago, I've entered into a new stage of my life, and this could be close to the final stages of my life, if not the final stage of my life. Um, and it's something that I never thought I would be here, but if you know the history of what goes on in South Central Los Angeles, a young man like me, guess I'm not that young anymore, but a young man like me was supposed to be the victim of violence, and that still can happen. But at the same time, I think we are entering an age, and have been for some time, that we really have to start questioning ourselves, question who we are as a human species within our own ethnicities. Sorry, kind of back up. Um, just really kind of question where do we fit in this brave new world that circles around the sun. And I will say to you that it's good to have all the technology. It is wonderful to have all of the different toys that we can use, the smartphones, the laptops, like the one I'm using now, AI, and of course, again, social media and the like. These are great things if we know how to use them correctly. If we know how we could use all of the different technologies and features that we now have the opportunity that we never had before for people of my Gen X age and older. And now a younger generation who grew up with all this stuff, they're using it to great advantage as they should. And learning how to operate at very high levels these features that they were born with. And people my generation is still trying to catch up and use every single day. Even the microphone that you hear me talking from that enhances my voice. It's new, but at the same time, it has a purpose. And if you use right, which it is being used right, it's also helping me to communicate to you better than just the average microphone or laptop microphone that I used in the past. And people said I had issues with my voice. But that being said, just want to go over what does all this technology mean for us? Who are we really? Are we users of a product, or are we organic beings just willing to use these products and at the same time not producing anything in our lives worthwhile? Are we just here on this earth just to use the latest Galaxy 500 or whatever, or are we just here to laugh and joke and scratch our noses? What are we here for? I think as tech bros have taken over our space and dictate to us what's the greatest thing in humanity, because let's face it, to them, it's all about profit. And the more profit they can gain, then they'll try to sell their products to you and say, hey, that driverless car is wonderful. It represents a new era in technology. You should use it. More people should use it. Or, like I said, the new Galaxy 5000. It's great. You get to talk to your friends and your neighbors at the same time. Or even the new monorail that opened down the street. Takes you from one place to the other. It's great. You should try it out. Everyone's taking that monorail. Or the new developments, the new thing that everyone is taking advantage now, no matter what it is. We have to ask ourselves, where are we in all this? What about the man, the woman, the other person that is taking control of their lives? Hopefully they will. And not let the technology or social media or even their phone take control of them. When do we begin to live our lives and leave the other stuff behind, right? Like, when do we go to a store and shop organic food or food that's healthy for us? And when do we just stop relying on just other things to determine the food we buy? Or if we're not able to cook that evening, order food from a Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever service is going to provide that food for you. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with technology, but again, we have to wonder, where do we begin and all the other things end, right? Or where do we end and all the other things take over? I remember going to the library a lot. And I would go to the library just to read stories or gather information of things past. And I was very interested. I kept going to the library. I basically grew up there because it was an escape for me. I was able to get away from the world and all of its troubles and go to a library and then read a book, and all of a sudden things just open up so well for me. And now, some 20 to 30 years later, can crack open a laptop. Not the same feeling. I mean, I can look up a story online, look up one of the many PDF forms that have story forms in, or stories that are in PDF form, and read. But it doesn't give me the same experience. And being in a different place, a place reserved for quiet, rather than my home where I'm just filled with noise and distractions and anything happens, right? You know, as an author, I do enjoy writing at home, but I also enjoy writing in the library because it helped me focus on the story at hand, the story I was writing. And there are authors, maybe some famous authors out there who've written series. They get a hotel room, and they just enjoy the quietness that they are writing their next best and greatest story of the series, or just a standalone. Now they could be there with phones and laptops and all these different things and amenities, electronic and otherwise, to help them write and to help them fill their day or the evening, wherever they're in the room writing. But I would say this, that when I was writing in a library room by myself in college, just went in, just got my space, and that was it. It was peaceful. It was quiet. And I think those of us who are human beings rather enjoy the solitude moments we spend by ourselves, not filled with technology around us to crowd our space, or to remind us of the next post, or to get on social media and scroll and see if anybody's liked that video that we showed, or shared a dancing video or whatever. But I would say in the year 2026, life used to be very quiet and very simple. Not simple as in stupid, but simple as in easy. Simple as in non-distracting, the best things that we can enjoy. And now we find ourselves in our airwaves filled with people with opinions of this sports commentator saying something derogatory or controversial, or this entertainer, actor, actress, whoever, saying something controversial. And yes, we do know that controversy has always sold. But in the world of social media and the internet, controversy is what gets you the likes, the follows, the clicks, all that. It's better than money sometimes because you get what you ask for. But is life really about wondering what Mr. So-and-so said? Or is it important what you have to say? Is this what life is condensed into? I'm wondering what he said or she said or what they did. It shouldn't be about that. Yes, people are going to say whatever they're going to say in whatever medium they own or possess. But it shouldn't be about that. It should be about what we think, what we feel. And they say something that's con- contrary to that. There you go. Then guess what? I don't want to hear it because it goes against what I've always believed anyway. And we need to really practice more of that. We really do. You can kill the beast by not paying attention to it. That's my suggestion. So, as I'm closing and winding down my thoughts about all this, I just want to say that, you know, maybe because I'm an older person now in the twilight, well, let's say the best years of my life is still coming up, but let's just say that I'm in the more mature years of my life. And I have to be very serious about a lot of things and how I spend my time. Because time is something that I just can't afford to squander anymore. I've done enough of that in my youth, and guess what? Now I feel that I've made tremendous mistakes because of it, but we all do, right? So now I'm at that mode where I can't waste any more time focusing on foolishness and other things. I have to focus on what I'm doing. And for me, that's writing books. That's taking care of business, but not really engaged in anything outside of that. And that's not a arrogant statement. That's a statement of actual fact. That if you keep your mind away from all the controversial stuff or the stuff that makes you inflamed and gets you angry or provokes an emotion out of you, you will have a much better outlook. Everything. And that's what I urge for you. Let the controversial stuff be the controversial stuff, but you don't have to give into it by listening to what they said or just following through. Just continue to live your life the best way you can, and that's all you can do. So I just hope that what I said has helped everyone out there, and let's try to move forward and create a better, simple life for ourselves. Thank you so much for watching. Always in closing, take care.